The use of digital communication has overtaken face-to-face and voice-to-voice communication in the workplace. Has the shift changed the fundamental process of communication? I believe this shift has changed the fundamental process of communications. Communicating today is mainly online with email, text messaging, and Facebook messaging. Communicating must be more precise and clearer as there are no body language or vocal cues to support a communicator's message. In Chapter 4-1G, it states that a large part of successful communication is listening. With much of business communications being online, listening is more difficult. In order to listen, you must reread messages that the person you are trying to communicate with sent. You must also ask questions to clarify that you are perceiving the communicator's message as they intended it. After a workplace project was completed, you were rightfully upset. You and two other team members did all of the work, but two freeloaders are sharing in the credit. Should you report the freeloaders to the manager? If so, explain how you would approach the conversation. If not, why? It depends upon the importance of the project and how my coworkers who helped with the project felt about the situation. If the project was unimportant, I would probably just let the situation go. If my coworkers who helped with the project were also concerned with the two freeloaders, and I had their support to back up my claim, I might be more apt to report the situation. Also, I would want to know what the two freeloaders' excuses were and if they were legitimate. For example, if the two freeloaders had a death in the family, I may be more forgiving of the issue. I also want to confront the two freeloaders to see if they would like to apologize or own up to their not helping. I would want to consider if this was a habitual behavior for the two freeloaders or if it was a one-time occasion. If I thought it was necessary to report them after considering all of the information listed, I would report both of the freeloaders to management. I would try to be nice about the situation and let the manager suggest how to prevent this type of situation from happening again. Discuss the ethics of the indirect strategy of organization. Is it manipulative to delay the presentation of the main idea in a message? According to the text, indirect strategy of organization is an organizational strategy that describes placing the main idea later in a message after the details, explanation, or evidence. It is used when the writer expects the reader to be uninterested, unwilling, displeased, or hostile. I do not think it is manipulative to delay the presentation of the main idea in a message. Sometimes messages are better presented with this method because the reader is delivered news in a gentler manner. Using this method tries to not upset the reader as much as they may have been if given the information directly. I think the author of the message is just marketing sensitive news in a better way when using indirect strategy of organization. It is important that all of the facts are presented, or then it could be considered manipulative. What are the major differences between informational and analytical reports? Informational reports, according to the text, often describe periodic, recurring events or activities such as monthly sales or weekly customer calls, as well as situational, non-recurring events such as trips, conferences, and special projects. Analytical reports, according to the text, involve collecting and analyzing data, evaluating the results, drawing conclusions, and making recommendations. One difference between informational and analytical reports is that analytical reports evaluate data and try to persuade a reader, and informational reports do not. Analytical reports focus on reasoning and conclusions, and informational reports focus on facts.